Hello, I am Ukrainian orphan. Welcome back to the channel. Back at it again with more insanity from the propaganda cyclopsia, Michael Bisping. Please enjoy the video. Do not dislike. I will die. Thank you.
Michael Bisping, checking in on Ukraine.
The backstory of this video, as I was making the Anthony Smith roast video, I guess you could call it, I'd never really watched the Bisping podcast before, and I genuinely had no idea how shit it actually was. And I kept listening to the rest of the podcast, or I'm pretty sure it was the same one. And just the chemistry, the random fucking dumbass takes that either Smith or Bisping or Harrington or
Brian McGay
all collectively have. I discovered a really insane take that Bisping has on the Ukraine-Russia war. So let's get stuck into the video. Like and subscribe and all that tomfoolery. Thank you very much.
Harrington, play on the clip now.
But what did we say? Why did we get onto that? What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Harrington, what's going on with these Ukrainians and these dead soldiers?
Straight off the bat, notice how disrespectfully he talks about dead Ukrainian people.
What the fuck's up with these fucking dead fucking Ukrainian soldiers, fucking Harrington? Put me out of me fucking misery, will you, for fuck's sake?
So what are you talking about here?
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool thing as like a tribute to the people.
What's up with these dead soldiers? Oh yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
So Smith's trying to make Harrington seem insensitive, and Bisping finds it fucking hilarious. But I'm glad Harrington clapped back a little bit, to be fair. His comment suggests to me that Bisping shouldn't be taking this topic so lightly. It's a bit too light.
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard there's a war going on. So, you know, typically soldiers die in those.
I mean, geez Louise, it's crazy, isn't it? We're now in the second year of that Ukrainian war. You know, it's on the news all the time. I don't know if you follow it. And
A little bit.
A little bit. I'll be honest. I watch the news in the morning when I'm having my coffee, and
I watch the news in the morning while I'm having my coffee.
So before Bisping's big brain take on what's happening over in Ukraine, there's a little peek into where he gets his news sources from. I can almost guarantee you Bisping gets all of his information with what's going on in the world from either CNN or from Fox. And I can safely say that is a big fucking wet sanitary pad full of CNN blood. You'll get what I mean later.
This sounds really disrespectful, but I just can't ingest all that misery. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll watch it for a minute and then I've got to turn it off. I just can't ingest all that misery. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll watch it for a minute and then I've got to turn it off. I just can't ingest all that misery. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll watch it for a minute and then I've got to turn it off.
So Michael Bisping basically admits to not paying a single shred of attention to what's been happening in Ukraine. And the slightest mention of it, while he's all tucked up cozy in his mansion that Power Slap paid for, he turns his TV off. He is either a really sensitive UFC propaganda cyclops or a really ignorant UFC propaganda cyclops. Either way, do not be so fucking flippant about people dying you spared, especially having a massive fucking platform. It's not nice.
Russia are bombing the hell out of him. Seems like Ukraine are doing a pretty good job of defending now. But there's a lot of people dying. I think there are like 100,000 Russians who passed away as well.
Okay, here we have Bisping quickly realising how bad that sounded and now has to pick a side. He needs to decide if he's Team Russia or Team Ukraine. And of course, Bisping being a propaganda cyclops, he's gonna side with Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine are doing a really fucking solid job, aren't they? When I was in my own Ukraine war, I double-legged Vladimir fucking Putin like fucking 20 times in a fucking row. Had zero defense. Ha ha! Come on!
Do you know what I'm saying?
God damn. I've seen this video. Insane. Man, my feeds are just full of bullshit sometimes. I'm in these group messages. on social media with a bunch of my friends, and some of the most wretched shit comes through on those guys.
Oh God!
Like, and so they send the worst shit. But there was a video of
I had to tell my buddy to stop sending some stuff because it was getting really bad. I'm like, bro.
Oh, it gets real bad.
I don't need this shit on my phone.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Bisping. But he's not as bad as you.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
That's that. I deleted. I delete the group chat a lot.
Yeah.
There's a video of like a Russian fighter, and he FaceTimes like the girlfriend of a Ukrainian fighter that he'd killed, and just laughed at her.
You are fake news.
Oh, it was awful. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. No, it is crazy. There's Hamilton bringing the mood down again. We're trying to have like a
thanks,
joyous
Harrington.
podcast. You know, let's talk about honoring dead Ukrainian soldiers.
Hold up a jolly old second.
Pull it upon the ground. Pull it back, rewind, what upon the ground, the Bisping, what did he just say? Pon a boomba clap, pussy all, you know. Say, come to my face when I'm gonna be there, man. Bisping, upon a boomba ras clot and a thing, you know.
Sorry, I went a bit Mike Perry then for a sec. I mean, I get that it was 2 minutes ago, guys, and that's a long time, but wasn't it Bisping that asked about this topic in the first place? Let me go get that Jamaican batty boy back for a bit of
Bisping, pon a pussy all, guan, pon a stibbing in reverse. The boomba clap and a thing, you know.
Let's just listen to what he said at the start, for fuck's sake.
Hamilton, what's going on with these Ukrainians and these dead soldiers? No, it is crazy. There's Hamilton bringing the mood down again. It's crazy because all those people dying. I mean, and we're going off here. I mean, Vladimir Putin could just decide to stop invading.
Welcome to Keeping Up with the Kardashians with your special needs host, Michael Bisping.
How can you have such a simplistic view? That's the most bimbo OnlyFans type take I think I've ever heard. I can now fully confirm that retired UFC fighters due to CTE have the intelligence and IQ of your average Insta-slag Love Island type dumb bitch.
Well done.
Oh, and yes, thanks for asking. I have included Anthony Smith into retired fighter status. He may not be officially retired, but UFC fans like to call it
Empathetically retired.
I nearly said retarded then. Well, that's probably another video.
Do you know what I mean? And I get it. There's a whole thing that they believe that it should be part of Russia and he doesn't want Ukraine joining NATO and all the rest of it. But there's a lot of people dying.
Right.
You know what
Just
I mean?
go
In this
home.
day
Just
and age.
get your ball and go home.
Take your ball and go home. Why are you attacking my family, Putin? Why are you attacking my family, ball?
Just have a conversation. How about we compromise?
How about we compromise? Compromise over what? This guy commentates in the UFC. He's a commentator.
Right.
2 years into this shit, hundreds of billions of dollars being spent.
Yeah.
The UK just sent a ton of missiles to Ukraine, and Russia came out and said, we take that as a very hostile gesture. You know, I said, well, I'm not surprised. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, with all the shit they're dealing with Ukraine, what are they going to do about it?
Slight side note, I've suspected for a while now, Bisping is a dickhead to work for. It feels like to me, Bisping's got in a contract somewhere that Bryan and Harrington are only allowed to be present on the screen when they need to either direct the show or chime in on the utter hole they frequently dig themselves on the podcast. The reason he looks stressed and agitated here is because he's been on the screen and hasn't said anything yet, and is worried Bisping will shout at him for being on screen when clearly he's being polite and doesn't want to interrupt. Let's see what he has to say.
You can't afford to be in another war. So be mad.
Oh my God. You absolutely wrecked Vladimir Putin there, mate. Absolutely smashed him. Destroyed. Damn, maybe even you should go and fight for Ukraine. You're so good at smashing Russia, man. Like, if Brendan Schaub was Russia, you would like totally be Ariel Hawani in that situation. Actually, guys, do you remember the time just now where Smith totally crushed Russia with a school ground IQ level roast? Really great stuff. What a great guy. Never met him, B.
Well, we don't want to get bombed off Russia, though.
The biggest problem with making a deal is that the deal was made already in the 70s, I believe, with NATO, and the West didn't hold up their side of the bargain, so I can't imagine that Russia would come to the table with good faith at this point.
Okay, finally, a bit of logic as to why the war's even happening. Brian McGay comes in with some facts and a bit of backstory about the provocation of war in the first place. But the real entertaining part, how twatty Bisping will react to a simple bit of factual information.
Yeah, well, there's always two sides to every story, though, Brian. You're getting a very conservative feed there. There's always two sides to every story, though, Brian. You're getting a very conservative feed there.
One thing you'll see a lot in the lefty community, even as far as BLM and LGBT gay communities, is anyone that disagrees with their ideology. One of their main copes is that,
oh, you're getting a conservative feed.
If you're unaware, this relates to social media platforms that share news stories, such as Twitter or Facebook, being tailor-made for right-leaning viewpoints, even though the same goes the other way around. This shows that Bisping never ever scratches the surface of global and cultural topics. He just switches off, gets a snippet of a headline, and then spouts it out to hundreds of thousands of people every fucking week, and nobody bats an eyelid.
Brian, you must be a right-winger if you're coming to me with widely known facts.
Is basically what he's getting at. What a cunt.
Just like the other day. Go on, Brian.
The big sigh tells me more about Brian's opinion of Michael Bisping than if I would have asked him to write me an essay on him. He's so fucking sick and tired of his light-level surface digging.
OnlyFans IQ in stupid fucking Cyclops face.
The deep breath first.
We made a deal with Russia when NATO was formed that we wouldn't.
Yeah,
move
I know.
And then we gradually have, and nobody's really said anything. We've been kicking the can. We've been kicking it down the road. We had we had a general on the politics show that I was talking to, and he
got him on here.
Actually, Brian did ask the general to come onto the show, but the general had concerns that Smith might accuse him of attacking his family, even though he said he had no plans to ever do that.
How this was, it's just a long-term strategy plan to break down our economic rivals. It's
there it is.
It's more of aggression.
There it is. There's like the other day. I
was with you for a second.
Do you know the other day we were talking about punishing the airlines, and you said it's a big conspiracy to only have the elites flying and the rich 1%. I googled the amount of people in Europe and the UK combined, like almost 500 million people.
I thought I'd add this segment too, just because it made me laugh. You Americans might not know this, but since the UK left the European Union, the types of people I describe Bisping as, that only scratch the surface on topics, they're also the types of people that genuinely thought that the UK was no longer a part
of Europe,
as in the continent of Europe. The way Bisping describes the UK as a separate entity to Europe is further proof
that he is an inbred mongoloid
that should be farmed and harvested for views. Thank you.
So I think there's just as many flights happening out there as what there is in America, Brian.
Yeah, well, my point is that international travel by train is much more accessible than it is here. We need planes to go places, and the people in the UK that don't. So it's not necessarily an industry.
Well, in the UK, you don't. You can
She's
spit.
like, you English fucks don't need any goddamn planes.
Well, the thing about it is,
why are you attacking my country, Smith?
when the airline industries have Americans in a stranglehold because we can't not use airlines, whereas in the UK you can choose not to use airlines. So that's kind of, it makes a competitive market.
Yeah,
More.
but there's a world out there that people travel to though, and there's a lot of planes leaving England. Trust me.
So the point Brian's trying to make here, but he can't put it into baby speak for Bisping, is that domestic travel in the UK is cheaper due to trains, but America doesn't have a rail infrastructure, so companies can monopolise the flight industries. But goo brained Bisping thinks he is talking about a different topic altogether.
I understand that. There's an international airport there for sure. I'm just saying it's
one of the biggest in the world.
It's a more competitive market. That's all.
Yeah. It's all right, Brian. It's all right. An hour and a half has flown by. That's been quick, even though I feel like we've essentially talked about nothing.
That's okay.
So, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I should have fucking titled the video, "Is Bisping Still a Moron?" But I feel it's safe to assume that he will always be a fucking moron. I'll check back onto show on the Bisping podcast, make more vids discussing the propaganda cyclops. Oh, and here's Harvey Price falling through a kid's soft play floor.
Hello, you can.
Hello, you can.
Harvey.
Did you see Harvey Price? Did you see the video of Harvey Price falling through that like jungle gym? And nearly dying. Have you seen that?
Oh, what a day.
He's in like a kid's little jungle gym and he like cries. It like gives way under him and he like falls. I can't play it, but like you can type it in, I guess. Type in Harvey Price Falls. Falls. He does like a monkey impression. I'm not joking. He actually does beat his chest in like a jungle gym. And he just falls through it. Nearly dies.
Oh, what a day.
This fucking guy, dude. What a fucking dickhead, dude. No one's gonna miss him anyway, dude. It's funny, isn't it? Really crashes through. What happened with Jesse on Fire? I just stopped. I think I should do it on my own, incorporate chat way more, and make it about my own podcast rather than his.
Ba 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 boo bee boo ba 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 boo boo blah blah ba 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 ba.
Is he beating his chest? I don't know.